Lisa Gansky, serial Silicon Valley entrepreneur and also very active environmentalist. Lisa, what's the connection between your commitment to the environment and your interest in technology and your business career in Silicon Valley?
Wow, that's a terrific and complicated question. Thank you.
And you've got 5 minutes to answer it.
Well, there you go.
And
Starting now.
Starting now.
The connection, I guess, is me, right? That it's, I have for many years been sort of a person who's very connected to nature, I think, in my life. And as I've been aware of, things that we're doing to the planet, either, pollution or carbon or all these sorts of things that I think most of us are aware of, I started to want to do things myself, and also certainly with money, to be able to finance and to learn how to do what's now called social ventures. So, things where you could make a profit, but it wasn't maybe so attenuated, and towards the side of making the profit, you were looking to give back in some way or to support a community. And so, so I've been involved with NRDC and with the Jane Goodall Institute, and also I started a foundation with a friend, Dos Margaritas, where we do projects in South America. For me, I was trying all the time to also bring these two parts of my life together, and I feel like the mesh has allowed me to do that. Certainly as being an entrepreneur with Ophoto, we created the Ophoto Foundation, and we were able to do things, and there's a lot that you can do as an entrepreneur that gives you the freedom to see how you want to bring the product to market, and what voice you want, and how you want to also respect the customers or the partners of the business. In this venture with the mesh, a big driver for me was trying to understand as an entrepreneur, how can we make real money and build real solid brands and have delighted customers in a world if a lot of what we're going to do is share. And so I started the mesh process as a real concern and question for myself. How is this going to play out? And my research was really convincing myself that there's real business here, that there's a lifestyle and a business both.
I know the mesh and a lot of your current thinking is driven by the concept of waste. How does waste fit into the mesh and into the digital economy as it unfolds?
Great question, thank you. I think, we have considered, at least I remember a meeting at Kodak where the person who was running film basically said, as film started to decline, that she said, cash hides all sins. And I thought about that really long and hard, because I think that hits all of us in our personal lives too, that when it felt like we had a lot of money, either cash or debt, to play with, we were very acquisitive, and the amount of waste, things that we weren't using, that we just had, maybe went by the wayside. That's also true for business. I think that when, certainly for startups, there's a period of time when your focus is very much on, like, let's get it out, let's get a move on here. You're not about efficiency, you're about kind of time to market and making an impact. And there's a lot of waste associated. But there's also this other residual thing, which is when I started to look at waste, for example, I brought a prop for you. This is a friend of mine has a business called Rickshaw Bags that's not far from here in San Francisco. And basically this is they make a lot of messenger bags and things like that out of recycled plastic. And what they started to do is have scraps, and the scraps from the plastic the bags were made out of plastic bottles. The scraps from the bags and other things, instead of them throwing away, they decided that they could create this thing that they call the round tripper. And so it's essentially this little bag. They fold up their messenger bag and shove it in here and send it off to be mailed to a customer. And then you don't have any packaging to deal with. You open it up and you take out your rickshaw bag, and then you put a sticker on and it goes back to them. And
what's
so
inside it? In
this case, what's inside is my book. Because when I sent the book to some friends, I thought I wanted them to be connected to the notion of the whole notion that we could be a lot more thoughtful and efficient about how we use things.
When are we going to get recycled books?
There's a good question. The whole publishing industry has kind of baffled me at the moment, so I'd like to maybe have a drink with you after the interview. But
we'll talk about it.
Please, that would be terrific.